Hey guys, and welcome back to another Legion Remix guide for World of Warcraft. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Heroic World Tier system coming with the Legion Remix event on October 7th. In simple terms, this feature increases both the difficulty and rewards earned from defeating enemies in the open world. Starting at level 10, players will be able to activate Heroic World Tier from this console in the Infinite Bazaar. Once activated, enemies in the open world will become much more difficult to kill. All enemies will deal more damage and have increased health, and some mobs you encounter will have affix-like effects on them, which can introduce additional mechanics that monster wouldn't normally have. The payoff for having Heroic World Tier active is that players are rewarded for their efforts by getting increased experience, infinite power, and bronze from killing monsters. Side note here, the increased experience gain only comes from the mobs you kill. Quests and other forms of experience earned will be the same whether you are in Heroic World Tier or the normal World Tier. In case you forget, you'll be able to tell at any time whether or not you're in the Heroic World Tier by looking for this icon on your user interface. And if at any point you want to exit Heroic World Tier, you can use the Temporal Retreat ability found in the General tab of your spellbook, return to the console in the Infinite Bazaar, or if you die, you can talk to the Spirit Healer and they will give you the option to exit Heroic World Tier as well. This feature itself is pretty straightforward, but you're probably wondering, is it worth it to just always be in Heroic World Tier for the increased rewards? Well, yes and no. Once you're feeling really overpowered, it definitely makes sense to always have it turned on, but when you're only level 10 or 20 and you haven't unlocked all of your class abilities and talents yet, while you're still ramping up your increased player power, Heroic World Tier mobs can actually be pretty difficult and take a lot more time to kill than you would think. I think jumping into the Heroic World Tier too early could ultimately lead to a slower and more frustrating leveling experience that isn't really worth the increased rewards in the long run. What I plan on doing is to focus on questing and doing content within the normal world difficulty, and once I have most of my class abilities and my artifact is feeling sufficiently overpowered, then I'll activate Heroic World Tier and start taking advantage of those increased rewards when the difficulty is more in line with my character's power. After all, the whole point of Remix is to live out your power fantasies while collecting cool rewards, and getting bullied by common mobs in the open world kind of kills that vibe. As for rewards, I wanted to highlight this set specifically, which is a purple recolor of the new Remix set, since you will need to be in Heroic World Tier in order to get it. This set is obtained by completing 100 world quests in Heroic World Tier and earning the achievement Heroic Broken Isles World Quests 4. Anyway, that just about does it for this video, but before I go, I did want to speculate for just a moment. I think it's very likely that we're going to see some version of Heroic World Tier being integrated into other versions of WoW, specifically to retail. It seems like a no-brainer when you look at how easy the world content becomes once players reach max level and start getting high-level gear and tier sets. A complaint I see online pretty often is that one of the reasons retail feels like less of an MMO than Classic is because the open world feels like an elaborate lobby or waiting room for the real content, which are going to be the instance dungeons, raids, arenas, etc. I would see adding things like Heroic World Tier as a way to make the open world feel a little bit dangerous again, but that's a topic for a whole separate video. All I'm saying here is I wouldn't be surprised if we see Heroic World Tier make its way into retail at some point, so if you like it or if you hate it, posting constructive feedback on the forums is probably a good idea. And that's all I've got for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, see ya.